Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to SEC Unfiltered's newest show, introducing SECT. I figured that SEC Unfiltered could use a woman's touch, and sure enough, that's what we've got. Again, y'all, appreciate you all tuning in. I'm going to introduce our host here in just a second. Before we get rolling, as always, make sure you like, you subscribe. We are on the race for 25,000 subs on YouTube. We're growing each and every single day. We couldn't do it without you guys. And as always, check out our friends over at FanDuel, because we're brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Guys, FanDuel is getting you ready for the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5. If it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style. FanDuel's got you covered. The NFL season is here. I know that because I won 2 bets on Monday Night Football. You should get in on the action as well. The only question is, are you ready to play? Make sure you are. FanDuel.com/SECU to download the FanDuel app today. Once again, FanDuel.com/SECU to get that deposit bonus today. Once again, this is SECT, and this is the first and very last time you will hear me do the intro of this show. I'm very, very excited. This is something I've been wanting to bring to SEC Unfiltered for a very long time. Once again, you hear myself, you hear Cole Thompson, you hear Harrison Fant, you hear all of us here. I looked around and said, we need a different voice, a voice that our current infrastructure, our current staff could not provide. That being the voice of a woman, a woman's touch at SECU, introducing Cierra Clark, the host of SECT. Once again, you've probably seen her on social media. She's crushing on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the above. She's been in the SEC game a while. She's an SEC alum, born and bred SEC. And again, she's going to be your host of this show. Cierra, I appreciate you doing this. I'm really excited for this partnership, this collaboration, this show. Again, I've been admiring your work from afar, and I'm honored to be your first guest, if you will, I suppose. I guess I didn't really give you a choice here. But no, I appreciate you. Really, really pumped for this. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, super excited because not only women, men too, love sports, of course, because of the game, but also because of the drama that happens. And for you non-Gen Z millennial folks watching, T kind of means like the drama, like what's the T? And so that's where the name of the show came from. And I like to compare college football to the Real Housewives because there's always so much drama going on, especially now these days with the transfer portal and NIL, all those kinds of things. So I'm excited to just bring you guys the details, especially if you're not chronically online like I am.
Yeah, Sierra, we're going to get it rolling. We got a lot of topics to get into. You sent me over the list, and I'm actually really excited to talk about this because, again, like you said, it's very outside of the norm of what we obviously already do. There is a lot of tea in this league on a day-to-day basis. Heck, there was a lot that happened today. Before we get going, if you don't mind, give the people a rundown of who you are, just your overall background. Again, probably a lot of them have seen you on social media, but they don't know the Cierra Clark.
Yes, the Cierra Clark. Well, I am originally from Orlando, Florida, a town called Winter Springs, but I just claim Orlando. I went to the University of Florida, worked in local news in Gainesville after I graduated, and then worked in local news in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I'm based in Arkansas now. And so freelancing and doing all the things on social media because this league is just so much fun, and I just can't shut up about it.
I love that. Gator Hog crossover. So yes. Probably a lot better days for the Gators when you were in school, I'd imagine.
No, we were pretty bad too.
No, was that okay? So that was more recent then.
Yeah.
Were you McElwain era?
Yep. I remember the press conference we had when Will Grier was like, I messed up, basically. And I was in the swamp when we upset Ole Miss, when Chad Kelly was on the team. That was one of my best college football memories. And then Florida had some flashes. They made it to the SEC East several times during my era in college when I covered the Gators, but they seem to just be on the downtrend again. But I did get to witness them lose to Georgia Southern in person. So that was an incredible.
Oh, you got the Muschamp days too.
Yeah.
That's brutal. That's brutal. All right, this is your show, Sierra. I'm going to let you take it away. Again, this is a fun thing for me because normally I'm the host and I don't have to be. So take it away.
Yeah, so speaking on the topic of Florida, the Gators play Miami this weekend in Coral Gables. Why College Gameday is there? I don't know. As a Florida alum, it's kind of embarrassing that the whole world gets to watch the Gators get embarrassed on a national level. But Chris, what do you think of College Gameday being there? Like, it's a historic matchup, but it's just not great. I mean, Miami looks great, but Florida does not.
I would say that I'm surprised, Sierra, but you know what I think it goes back to, and we see this a lot. We really pride ourselves at SECU, if you notice. We preview, predict, talk about every single team. Doesn't matter who it is, how bad you are. Yep, this season, even Kentucky, even if Mississippi State falls off a cliff, even, if you go to baseball, we're still talking about Mizzou. Like, we're going to talk about everybody. But there's a lot of logo bias with, and I'm to each their own. Like, I get it, whatever. You can only talk about so many teams. There's a lot of logo bias, though. Which logos are going to move the needle? Miami, I think, is one of them. So I don't think it really mattered what Florida's record was going to be. They were going to go down there. I agree with you. It's like, I'll be honest with you. I don't watch game day as much as I used to. And I go to a lot of games where game day is there. And I think I grew up with game day. Like, I think it's awesome. But when you're just kind of doing your own thing, like, I don't pay as much attention to it. I like this. I like the cast. I think McAfee was a great addition. Hated to see Corso go, obviously, but I think Kirk Herbstreit does a great job. Entire panel is great. I don't really pay as much attention to it, but I do agree with you. Like, it's they're going for the U. Like, I think that's really what they're going for. I am interested to see what it looks like, though, because I don't remember the last time game day was at Miami. I really think they just wanted an excuse to get down to, I guess, Miami Gardens.
Miami Gardens.
Yeah, it's not Coral Gables. It's Miami Gardens. They wanted an excuse to get down there. There are definitely better games this weekend. And I mean, I hate to say that because it's probably Florida's fault that it's not a better game. But then again, spread's only 7.5. So maybe if DJ Lagway doesn't throw 5 picks, this could be a barn burner. But yeah, I mean, it's weird. It doesn't make a ton of sense. For us, obviously, SEC Unfiltered Tour, we're going to Como. So that one, which, I mean, hey, I don't think game day should have gone there either because South Carolina, the way they looked, and maybe even Lenore Sellers doesn't play, it's what is that game going to look like? But, yeah, I was as perplexed as you, to be honest.
Yeah, and I will say, though, this Miami-Florida matchup has a lot of lore to it. It's a lot of history. Very interesting matchup. In-state rivalry, of course. They used to play all the time until the SEC expanded, and then they didn't play Miami as much. And the Miami faithfuls claim that, Florida's trying to dodge us now because they picked Florida State as their out-of-conference rival to play every year. And I like seeing Florida play Miami. It's always a crazy matchup. And in the 80s, I mean, there was it was all the swag with that. And there were fights in the Peach Bowl. There was a pregame tunnel fight in 2003. And it's a really interesting matchup because Billy Napier and Mario Cristobal are in very different spots, but they started around the same time at their respective schools that they're at. And not only that, of course, you're fighting for records. Billy Napier's fighting for his job. Miami's continuing, hoping to remain undefeated. But you're also fighting for recruits as well. Last year when Miami beat the crap out of Florida in Gainesville, a bunch of the Miami players came over to the Florida bench area where the recruits are standing, and they're like, come to the U, come to the U. And the Florida staffers were freaking out. Everyone was so mad. And that South Florida area alone is filled with so much talent. That's why I say that Florida is one of the most talented states. If you turn on the NFL on Sundays, you're going to see players from Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach County, all the places. And UF recruits those guys as well. So it's going to be really interesting from a recruiting battle and just for bragging rights, because growing up in the state of Florida, people usually, where I grew up in Orlando, people ask, who are you a fan of? Florida or Florida State? And then if you get a little bit more down to South Florida, it's like, oh, are you Florida State, Florida, or Miami? And so a lot of these guys grew up together, and it's going to be a really interesting matchup. I think that Miami will take this. Miami's defense has improved a lot because last year Cam Ward was constantly bailing them out of bad situations. And they have Carson Beck this year, who Florida needs to pressure him. Florida's defense isn't as bad as their offense is. Their defense I've been fairly impressed with at Florida. So they're really just going to have to pressure Carson Beck, I think.
Yeah, they're familiar with him too. I was at the game last year, the cocktail party, when that was one of Beck's worst games. So I mean, he'll be motivated. He's trying to move to 3-0 in his career against Florida for what it's worth. But you talk about the hatred of the rivalry. It's so funny. So we had Chris Doring on the show before the Florida Miami game last year, which again that was my first ever Swamp experience, watching them get their brains beat in against Miami. So I did not get like the full experience at all. But thinking back, it's even funnier now because it was funny in the moment. But Doring was talking all kinds of shit, as you can imagine. He
Especially
essentially
when
said,
they
he was like, yeah, I didn't know that they were letting the South Florida prisons open up so that Miami folks could come to the game. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, he did not hold back. By the way, I was going to ask you this. You're a Gators girl. I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you remember what the trophy used to be called that they played for in this game?
The canoe.
Yes, the Seminole War Canoe.
Yes.
So I remember when we previewed this game last year, I only remembered that because I would play like NCAA football. Like I remember the first one I got on was like NCAA football 03 or whatever. But every year you get on it, they have the nicknames of all the rivalry games. And this was the battle for the Seminole War Canoe, which now it's literally the battle for the Florida Cup, which sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's bring back the Seminole War Canoe. But I digress anyways. Yeah, I've got Miami too, but this is one keeping a close eye on. I mean, to say Billy needs it is the understatement of the century. It's so funny how we've kind of we're back where we started with Billy Napier. Like we were having the same conversation this time last year. I think this week last year might have been the A&M game, if I recall correctly. And at that point it was like dead man walking, Billy has no shot. Like, we're kind of back to that where I'm like, I don't see how he's back. Like, I really don't. I got Florida buddies texting me. I'm calling them on the way home from our, trips, and they're venting and just, I mean, here's the thing. The losing to LSU thing would have been forgivable. It's the South Florida game.
Yeah.
And then Miami goes and they do what they did to South Florida. And, I mean, you know this. Again, you are from Florida. You're a Gator girl. Like, winning the state is a big deal. Like, it's unacceptable to be at Florida and be like, we're the fourth best team in our own state. You just can't do that.
No. And Florida lost to that USF team. That was the first time since the 1930s that Florida lost to another in-state school that wasn't Florida State or Miami. And losing to USF, a directional school that's not even in South Florida, it's in Tampa, is unacceptable. And after Florida lost to USF, I was like, oh, maybe this is a group of 5 team to watch. That's really good. We'll see how they play against Miami. No, Miami beat the crap out of them. And Florida is just not good. That's it. Yep. And Florida fans are absolutely fed up. Billy Napier is 20-21 in his tenure at UF. And I was someone who was still kind of confused on why Florida fired Dan Mullen that early when Billy Napier has, not coached as well. He's done great on the recruiting standpoint, but how has he done on the field? Not great. And Florida fans are just fed up with it. They want to be in the college football playoff. There's no reason why in the college football playoff era that the Gators have not been in that position to be in there yet. They have all the tools to get there. And then what's so frustrating about this team is that they're so incredibly talented. Like, it's not the talent on the field. It's not that they're not recruiting correctly. It's just the play calling, the way they're not utilizing Jaden Ball, the Florida running back who is like an absolute bowling ball that runs through everyone. It's ridiculous at that point. And I made a TikTok, actually. I like to do my little AI images thing because I think it's hilarious. And it was an AI image of Billy Napier with his seat on fire and with the Sabrina Carpenter song in the back saying, "When'd you get so hot?" But in the other slides, I had coaches that I would want to probably consider. And I was thinking of Lane Kiffin, Marcus Freeman, and Dan Lanning. And people thought I was crazy because they're like, Florida is a poverty program, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what are you guys saying? Like, yes, Florida is in a bad spot right now, but they kill it in NIL. That's how they basically won the basketball championship, and by hiring Todd Golden. And they're one of the few schools, if some of y'all don't know, a lot of schools in college sports in general don't make a revenue. Florida is one of the few that does. So that's where I'm just confused. And a lot of Gator fans are just over it. Personally, I'm hoping Miami wins so Florida can hurry up and get this coaching search over with.
Yeah, you've reached a bad spot when the fan base is essentially pulling for the downfall, which I don't blame you. I mean, 20-21 through 41 games, pretty self-explanatory. But again, back to the original point, it does go to show, I think Game Day they just had this one circled. They were like, hey, we're going here. It is what it is. I mean, which is funny. I thought about for a split second, do I go to Florida, Miami? I've never been to Miami.
Really?
Well, never been to Miami, like in the city of Miami at all. None of it.
The University of Miami is 45 minutes away from the stadium that play at. So for y'all that know Alex Earl on TikTok, she went to the University of Miami. That's kind of how she built her following. And she would film all her like tailgating, getting ready for the tailgates and whatnot. And she's like, oh yeah, I don't ever go to the games because it's so far. She'd just be at the frats watching. So
I get it. That sucks. I wonder what the crowd will be like.
It's usually South Florida fans are just pretty rowdy. So I think it'll be a good crowd. But I also think a lot of Florida alums live in South Florida.
I figured a lot of Gators would travel to this.
Yeah, and like a lot of just because Florida, we like to call ourselves the flagship school of the state. So there's just fans on every corner of the state. So I'm sure it'll be a packed crowd.
Yeah. I feel this is the last time they're probably going to play for a while.
Which is frustrating. But like Miami's beat our butts, Florida's butts every time. So we'll see. A more exciting matchup that I'm looking forward to seeing is Auburn versus Oklahoma, mostly because it is Jackson Arnold and John Napier going at it. And Jackson Arnold used to play at Oklahoma. He's now the quarterback at Auburn. And I feel like, some of the chatter around this matchup, people are like, oh, like, is this going to be dramatic? He's returning back, blah, blah, blah. But really, it doesn't seem, I'm sure on the surface, like, they're like, whatever. But what I love about this transfer portal era we're in is, Brent Venables was very much in his press conferences. He was saying, I wish him the best and all of that. And I think that's good with the transfer portal era we're in, where coaches aren't salty a lot of the time. If someone leaves, they just kind of do what's best for that player's career. And it seems to be going well in a lot of places when players transfer, because sometimes you just need a fresh start. Well,
let's be honest. We all want to win the breakup. We do. I don't care what Brent Venables says about how happy he is for the kid. He kind of has to say that.
Yeah.
I want to win the breakup. I don't like, and Jackson Arnold the same way. Like they both want to beat the heck out each other. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. The pressure on both sides is what makes this one fascinating. I think both think they should win. Both came into the season certainly thinking they should win this game. Yeah, the Arnold thing only adds fuel to the fire. I did pick Oklahoma to win. It's kind of like, I was there for the Michigan game. And I essentially said, you cannot let a true freshman quarterback come into your house and beat you. Literally take that exact sentiment and place Jackson Arnold in it. You cannot let Jackson Arnold, who was miserable a season ago, walk in and beat you. Oklahoma fans will go right back to spiraling if they lose this game. I think Auburn fans, I think there's more pressure on Oklahoma. I do, because I think if you're Auburn, you're an underdog, you're on the road. I think you're playing a little more with house money. If you're Oklahoma, like, you're supposed to win. And it's your ex-girlfriend's coming back to, or your ex-boyfriend's coming back to town. Like,
yes, that's a perfect
pressure's on you.
It's like when you see your ex with their new person, and then you have a new person, and we're like, okay, but who won the breakup?
Who upgraded? Who really upgraded?
Yeah, and we'll find out this Saturday.
Yeah, you want to say, hey, Jackson, you downgraded from us.
Yeah.
It was you. It was you, not me.
Yeah.
It was you, not me. So, yeah, and it's going to be a fascinating game. That was a game that, I guess Game Day already went to Oklahoma. If they didn't go for Oklahoma, Michigan, they could have went to this one because, it's as compelling as that one was. But, yeah, the chatter's been interesting. I think that both sides are keeping it really respectful and cordial, as you'd expect. But
just the basic coach speak. I wish.
Well, I've seen fans, too, on social media, though, that essentially the debate with Oklahoma fans, or at least a lot of them, is, do we boo Jackson Arnold? And the funniest comment I saw was one of them. It said, well, it's not like we didn't boo him when he was in an Oklahoma jersey. So, at least this time he's going to be in a different jersey. I was like, well, I think you got to boo him.
It's fun. It's part of the fun. And college football, when you boo someone, it's like I've seen it happen firsthand. I remember Florida booed their own quarterback, Felipe Franks, and then he was going like, shh.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, when he silenced his own crowd. Yeah, that was. And Florida won that game. I recall that was against South Carolina. Yeah, he silenced his own crowd.
Yeah, I'm not sure Arch Manning would have the same reaction. He also got booed this past weekend, but that was for throwing 10 straight incompletions. But who hasn't gotten booed is Diego Pavia. specifically Diego Pavia's mom. In case you guys missed it, so Theo Vonn, big podcaster, he was on the sidelines of the South Carolina Vanderbilt game. Vanderbilt ended up winning pretty convincingly. But before the game, Theo Vonn was saying, like, hey, Diego, can you hook me up with your mom if you guys win the game? If Vandy wins, then he said he would do it. Yeah, Pavia, Theo confirmed that Pavia promised to hook him up with his mom if Vandy won the game. Okay. And so Vandy won the game. And now Pavia is saying, well, I have to get a date with Tate McRae now.
He's parlaying that into getting a date with Tate McRae. And did you see Theo Vonn DM Tate McRae? Go look at his Twitter. He literally posted the screenshot of him DMing Tate McRae. What a genius move by Diego Pavia. And if obviously if you're a woman, you know who Tate McRae is.
Yes.
If you are a man tuned in, go Google Tate McRae and thank me later. So,
yeah.
Well played.
Yeah.
Well played.
I just love that. I love that for Diego Pavia. We need players like Diego Pavia in college football. He's very Johnny Manziel-esque. I remember if you guys watch the Every Given Saturday series on Netflix, and they were talking about Diego Pavia, and then I think it was like a FaceTime or something of Johnny Manziel came up, and he was like, oh my God. Like, you could tell he is someone that he looked up to growing up because he has so many shades of Johnny Manziel in a good way. Like, mind you, he'll talk trash. Like, I'll never forget the sideline interview he did with SEC Network's Alyssa Lang, and he was like, Vandy, we effing turnt after they beat Alabama. And like, we need players like that, claiming that they're going to win a national title at SEC Media Days. I'm like, dude, this guy is crazy, but he's so entertaining. Now he's shooting a shot with Tate McRae, a girl that so many people are thirsting over.
All right, Sierra, here's the Theo. Here's the Theo. We can get this pulled up. The Theo DMs to Tate McRae.
Hey, Tate, my friend said I can take his mom on a date, but only if he is able to take you on a date. Here's a picture of him. Not the picture. Oh my God. If you don't want to go on a date with him, I can also take you. Oh, that is shady from freaking
Theo kind of doing it for both his benefit and Diego's benefit. So
yes,
not the best picture of Diego either.
Yeah, no, he's mid sentence, but
yeah.
You know, the good thing about this NIL era is Diego Pavia can afford to take.
I say Diego's got. I mean, he's got racks like that.
Yeah,
I don't know where Tate McRae would want to go, but I mean,
somewhere in Nashville, maybe. I know she's from Canada, and there's also another Canadian player on the team at Vandy, so maybe they can she can teach him some of the Canadian ways or whatnot. Maybe she doesn't know about college football. Maybe he can teach her. So I think that would be a great power couple because she just had
a show in Nashville. I guess you're saying she lives in Nashville.
I don't know where she lives.
Well, she just had a show, I know, because I saw a lot of people I know Instagram stories and stuff like that. And yeah, I think it was like literally Friday she was in town at a show.
Wow. So, yeah. Well, I think we're in the era of power couples in sports. You know, obviously there's Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and then Justin Herbert's now dating Madison Beer. Cardi B, I don't know if her and Stephon Diggs are still a thing, but I don't know about that. But I feel like we're seeing a lot more celebrities dating athletes. We need to move it down to the college football level. Have Diego Pavia dating Tate McRae. You know, he says he's not going to be 30 years old playing college football. So that's good to know. In case you guys saw.
Yeah, he's rumored to be going for his 7th year, and he's like, "This is cap. I'm not." Which
is hilarious.
Somebody replied, and they were like, "Hey, can I get the $4 million in NIL you're turning down then if you don't want to play?" I'll take it. Yeah,
and he's just been a fun player to watch. You know, who would have thought that Vanderbilt, still undefeated, and someone that people are pretty scared of to play in the SEC, they are easily the villains in anyone's story.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Vandy's for real. Vandy's for real. I want to go back to this Theo Vonn, Diego's mom thing. I can't imagine the convos you would have with Theo Vonn.
And he was on the sideline, on the broadcast.
I'm just saying, like, as a woman, like, going out on a date with Theo Vonn, like, because I think that's who he is in real life. I don't think, like, all this crazy stuff he says is, like, there's just you could not be a character like that without – that's just you. So, like,
That's why he's a successful podcast, I guess.
Maybe it works. Maybe he's the funny guy. He's a funny dude.
He's not my cup of tea, but I mean,
it is. He's a specific kind of humor.
Yes.
He's a very specific kind of humor.
Yes.
You know what Theo Vonn is, honestly? Theo Vonn is like the uncancelable human being.
See,
that man can say anything and get away with it. Because he does. He says anything. Anything. It's like because he's got that accent, he's got the hair, and it's just like you're like, you don't take it as it's never taken as like malicious. It's always funny.
Yes.
So good for him.
Yeah, I love that for him. And I hope that Tate McRae and Diego Pavia get to go on a date. Maybe they'll get married, and then maybe I'll get an invite because I can't shut up about it because it's just so funny.
Tate McRae and Diego Pavia. Hey, good. We know Diego's type.
Yeah. And we know Theo Vonn's type. It's Diego Pavia's mom, which also he did say, yeah, I like that she was a nurse, and he sees himself marrying a nurse one day. So, I mean, he's thinking ahead.
He's on that Jack Harlow beat.
What did Jack Harlow say?
Jack Harlow in one of his songs, or actually Jack Harlow had a tweet. Hold on, I promise I'm not making this up. So he has a line in, I think it's 21C Delta as a song, and he says she's in med school, great, because I want to date a nurse. And then he also had a tweet. He had a tweet back in 2022. Again, I'm not making this up. I could share it, but it says, nothing like a woman in some scrubs with 4 heart face emojis. Thank you for your service.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This tweet got 180,000 likes.
So I'm gonna out myself here. So a few years ago, I used to work at Hooters. And Jack Harlow reminds me of a cook that would work at Hooters. He reminds me of the cook that and this is maybe SEC related. He's from Kentucky. Maybe he's a Kentucky fan. I don't know. But let's say like he's the type of cook where you're like, hey, can I get some cheese sauce with my fries? And he's like, and what are you going to do for me? That's Jack Harlow. He is the type of like cook that flirts with the waitresses. That's the vibe I get from him.
He'll have like the hairnet on with the curly hair under it.
Yes, he makes an appearance at the Kentucky Derby every week. Like,
oh yeah, him and Drewski.
For every year. Yeah, yes. Drewski's another interesting one. Speaking of relationships, so in case y'all don't follow me on TikTok, Cierra Clark 55, I did a series on crazy exes as SEC teams and whatnot. And my crazy if I had an ex, which of course I do, but my crazy ex of the week when it comes to college football teams would be Arkansas this week. So if a team was my ex-boyfriend and he was crazy, which team am I going to say? It was this week. It was Arkansas. Why? And because Arkansas's done a lot of stuff like throughout the years, they just seem like they have bad luck. But basically, Arkansas just does enough to reel you in and give you hope, kind of like breadcrumbing in a relationship, and a toxic one at that. And then they just fumble the bag and do something so bad that it's like, oh my God, they do this over and over again. Why do I put myself through this? This is a toxic relationship. So Arkansas lost to Ole Miss in a terrible fashion. Arkansas's defense was absolutely awful, but the quarterback, Taylon Green, ran all over the field. You could definitely tell that Bobby Petrino coached Lamar Jackson because we definitely saw flashes of that in Taylon Green. But it was that defense that just did not look great. But the nail in the coffin for Arkansas was that final drive for them where the ball was just stripped out of the wide receiver's hands for Arkansas, and Ole Miss took it, and the Rebels continue to win this one. It was just really heartbreaking one for Arkansas fans. Like they're used to losing close games, but I feel like this one is just like, come on. And then like in baseball, that was a flop as well. It's just like Arkansas they're always the bridesmaid, but never the bride. And they're always that crazy ex that gives you just enough to still want to date him, but then just does so many bad things. And it's like, why do I do this to myself? Maybe I should just be single, or maybe I should just date someone else and join another fan base.
That feels very personal, by the way. That felt very, I don't know if you're talking about football or what's going on.
Arkansas fans said they agree with me. So
no, listen, my crazy ex of the week. I guess probably maybe I'll get another one of these days, because I'm not going to be on every show, obviously. So I'm going to make this count. Mine is so obvious. It hurts. It's South Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, for very obvious reasons, if anybody watching knows anything about my history and my background. But for all the same reasons you mentioned, Arkansas and South Carolina are actually very similar programs.
They
build you up just to let you down every single time. And that is the case yet again. You lose to Vanderbilt, not just lose after you'd beaten them 16 years in a row, but you get dominated. And I don't think it have mattered if Lenora Sellers played the second half. They would have lost that game either way. Yeah, they just, I mean, it's you have to be kind of a glutton for punishment to be a South Carolina fan. Like, you either have to just be so oblivious or ignorant to it all, or a glutton for it. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense, because if you think Arkansas hasn't won a lot, Sierra, South Carolina's won less.
Yeah.
They've won less than Arkansas, which is hard to fathom. No disrespect. Hard to fathom. Like, really, truly, but they show up year after year after year, game after game after game. I thought South Carolina was one of the most overrated teams in the country, though, coming into the season. I picked them to go 7-5. People thought I was crazy. They thought I was a hater. Here we are. It's just this toxic. It's this. I don't even know what the word. It's a toxic relationship. It is a very toxic relationship. And every Gamecock fan, if they're out there listening, watching, they understand what I am saying. It is a very, very toxic relationship with South Carolina football. So, yeah, the Crazy X thing, absolutely valid. All South Carolina folks. It's very, very similar to the Hogs, for sure. And, I think it's so fascinating because we can relate this to having a Crazy X, too. Because we all have friends that are – I would look at, like, if there's crazy exes of the SEC, then there's happily married, successful couples like Bama, Georgia.
Well,
like,
Bama's a bit in a –
recently, I guess, for sure. But, like, yeah, Bama's the couple that's been married for like 25 years, and all of a sudden they're coming on some hard times, maybe even having a midlife crisis. But still, they've had a pretty good run. It's just like, I remember going to Alabama last year when they beat Georgia. This is before things went sideways with Kalen DeBoer. And so at that point, I'm like, they might be better than they were with Saban. But it made me think, I'm like, you know what's crazy about relationships and fandom? People, like, if you're a South Carolina and Arkansas fan, or Mississippi State or Kentucky, you put the same effort, energy, passion, intensity, all the above into your team as a Bama, Georgia, LSU. You used to be able to say this about Florida. No offense.
No.
But, like, you get what I'm saying. Like, but your experience is so different. Like, your experience as a fan is so incredibly different. And so it's like, that's what makes it frustrating. That's kind of like the relationship world. It's like, darn, I think I'm a good person. I'm respectful. I try to the very best I can, and whatever reason, I'm 30 or 34 or 24, whatever I don't care what the age is, but, like, I'm single, and meanwhile, on the other side of the town or the other side of the fence, you got they fell in love with the first person they met. They had kids. They just whatever. It kind of equates with that.
Right. And there's always, like, something beneath the surface, a lot of these teams also. And then, like, some of these relationships or some of these rivalries can be toxic too. I like to compare some of them to toxic relationships. Like Texas and Oklahoma seems like that couple that was married for a really long time and they should have been divorced, but something crazy always happens. Or same with, like, Florida, Georgia. That one is also a marriage for a long time, but they just kind of stay together for the kids, which the kids meeting.
You have to care about someone to hate them. That's the key. Yes. You do.
Yes.
They care about each other. That's the problem.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what makes rivalries so fun, is because some of them are very nuanced. Like, for example, if you look at the Arkansas fan base, they hate everyone. Texas, I think, hate everyone. LSU seems to hate everyone. Florida is more of like Georgia, Florida State, the rivals, and then Georgia also sees Florida as a rival. But then you'll see some teams that are like, yeah, we don't really see them as a rival, but they'll be like, oh, we hate them. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, the whole thing is, like I said, it just blows my mind that, like, again, the differences in the experiences of fandom is just like, it's like, man, you will never know what it's like to do some of the things.
No.
Like,
and then there's also the gaslighting that happens. I don't know if you saw Arkansas Athletic Director Hunter Yurachek said at the Touchdown Club, basically, we don't have enough money to win a national championship in football. And fans, rightfully so, were mad. He's like, are you kidding me? Because not too long ago, he said if every family in the state of Arkansas donated whatever amount of dollars per month, then we would be so much better at NIL. And I'm like, this is one of the poorest states in the country, and you're asking them to give money for college athletes? Like, respectfully, that's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy talk.
It's like, where's Jerry at? You know, where's the Waltons? Where's Tyson? Where's all of them?
Yeah.
You know, but it's so tricky with schools like that. I mean, I know that. I mean, listen, Pittman's, speaking of dead men walking, I think Pittman's on his last, hurrah, essentially there. So I don't know. It's interesting because, again, you know the pulse of the Hogs fan base. I got buddies that you probably know that cover the Hogs as well. And I don't know if you know Ty Richardson, who works for ESPN Arkansas. Yeah, Ty's an awesome guy. But I remember I asked Ty, I don't think he'd mind me saying this, but I asked him, I was like, dude, what are realistic expectations for Arkansas, like making the playoff, like per decade? Let's put it a 10-year period. How many times should Arkansas or will Arkansas, or how many times should Arkansas make the playoff over the course of a decade? His answer was 0. He's like, 0, dude. Like, we're not making the playoff. I'm like, bro, that is so sad.
So
like,
sad.
There's no way. Like, Arkansas should be able to make the college football play. Arkansas should be able to get to 10 wins. I don't think that's that crazy. Like, I went to Fayetteville last year, first time ever.
It's a great place.
Stadium's beautiful. Town is a lot of fun.
Dixon and it's only 4 hours from Dallas, and we know that's a recruiting hotbed. It's about 4 hours.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But you got to get the right guy. That's the first thing. You got to get the right guy. I think we all agree Pittman's not it. It's the Yurachek thing, that was crazy. The other gaslighting thing that happened today, was Dabo Swinney. I don't know if you saw his comments. Those comments were crazy.
What did he say again?
So let me pull up the quote here. Dabo essentially said, hold on, let me pull up the exact quote.
Dabo's an interesting man.
Quote, essentially they're 1-2, probably getting asked about the fans or, whatever, like, quote, if Clemson's tired of winning, they can send me on my way, but I'm going to go somewhere else and coach. I ain't going to the beach. I'm like, brother, y'all are 1-2. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like the gaslighting some of these fan bases go through is ridiculous. And a lot of y'all.
Like, how dare you questioning me? It's like, bro, we're 1-2.
Dabo, I know Dabo is like the OG gaslighter. Like with the NIL stuff. He was like, no, we don't need it. We don't need it. And then transfer portal, like he just seems like he's one of those coaches that just didn't really want to get with the times. And now it's kind of biting him in the butt. And now he's just like, well, I'm still going to coach. Very stubborn. Like, that's a lot. And personally, you could fire. Like, I would love to be fired and get paid millions of dollars. That sounds like
he went on to say this. So here's the full quote. Quote, I thrive in the battle. Honestly, I have my whole life. Perspective's important. If they want me gone, they can send me on my way. If they're tired of winning, they can send me on my way. I won't stop. I'm 55. I'll go somewhere else and win. I ain't going to the beach. We've won this league 8 of the last 10 years. Is that good? I've got a long memory in case y'all don't know. This is a program that's built to last. If you don't believe in us after we just lost 2 games, you weren't all in anyway. Hate to disappoint all the haters out there, but I have a long way to go, boys.
Oh, my gosh. So what's worse?
That's so funny. That is full peak Dabo. That's peak Dabo.
Who's worse, Dabo or Brian Kelly crashing out on the reporter in Baton Rouge?
Oh, I thought that was a bad look. What did you think about that?
Do we have exact quote?
So I can pull it up. Essentially, for those that did not see it, yeah, he crashed out on the reporter. The reporter's asking him post-game about
– that's not the offense.
The lack of ability to run the football. Let's see. He actually apologized for it, too.
Yeah, that was this week.
Yeah, he apologized for it on Monday. Let's see. I'm trying to find, the exact quote. So until I find it, essentially he's asked, what are you seeing with the offense? He says, stop it. Stop it. We won the game. Stop. Like, this is the first question you asked. We won the game. Stop it. And I want to find the exact quote here. Let's see.
Okay. He said, stop. Really? Yeah. He's like, stop. Really? Is that the first question? We won the game 20-10. Try another question. What do you want me to tell you? I laid it out for you. We played the game to win the game. We played the game to win the game. And then he continued. It's one game. Last game, we were great on third down. You micro. You're looking at this from the wrong perspective. LSU won this football game, won the game. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want? What do you want us to win? 70-0 against Florida, keep you happy? What do you want? It's like from the Notebook. It's like, what do you want? What do you? Or I think that's from the Notebook. I'm probably the only one who has never seen that movie.
He says, "What do you want?"
It's like asking me on a date, like, "What do you want for dinner?" I don't know. What do you want? That's what I got from Brian Kelly, and I'm like. I am very against like people berating reporters. I mean, obviously biased there, but it's like, come on, like you're getting paid millions of dollars to answer questions. Like, yes, they're going to look everything you do under a microscope. That is their job as reporters, to pick apart things and ask questions.
I was surprised at the mixed reaction on it. There were a lot of people defending BK. They're saying like, oh, save that question for the two. And like, could you save the question? Could you ask at a different time? But like your job, and like, here's the thing, Sierra, like you've worked in traditional media. You've done TV. I am the antithesis of traditional media. I am independent, built it out the mud, started it from zero, ground up, podcaster, curses on air, like whatever. I'm much more the Barstool mold than the Big J Journo mold. But even still, like, I've got respect for the game and respect for the craft and respect the people that do all that. Like, again, this is a whole other side note, but it doesn't have to be like new media, old media going into it. We can kumbaya, like y'all do a job, we do a job, cool. So like, to me, it's like, brother, you're in the press conference. He's going to ask a question. Like, just answer the question. Like, you don't, like, you're there to answer the question. And to take the personal shot and to say you're entitled, you're spoiled.
Yeah,
like,
love that
that's
part.
where, hey, if you want to be fired up over the question, make your point. Hey, really wish you to ask me that at a different time. We're trying to celebrate the win. I'm fresh off the field. Then answer the question. Don't then take it to berate him and belittle him. And like, if you don't think Brian Kelly was in the wrong, then why do you apologize to the guy? He obviously was. Like, there was no need for it. It was uncalled. It was uncalled for, I should say, because the run game did stink. The offense does stink. Like, yeah, I mean, and here's the thing too. I'll say this, and I got a lot of LSU friends that they would agree. Like, I think BK is a good coach. I'm not saying they can't win a national championship under him. I think they could this year. He's a questionable guy.
He's a weird dude.
He's a questionable guy, right? Like, I just.
Like, he always just gave cringe, and also because Coach O left, Coach O was like this mascot for the state of Louisiana that everybody loves. I mean, heck, Coach O and probably Joe Burrow had me rooting for them to win that national title in that 2019 incredible team. And then when Coach O left, it's like, okay, now we have this corny Brian Kelly guy who is like from the Northeast. No offense to any Northeast people listening, but he's from the Northeast, very corny. And then when he comes down, he's doing the fake accent and the video of him with the recruit with the NBA Youngboy music playing, and he's like going like that. And it's just like, and then it's just, and then
he is a guy that if they start losing, he is very easy to dislike and turn on. Like, he's the opposite of Sam Pittman. Sam Pittman, they lose and you're like, I love Sam. Sam's the best. He's great. Don't you just love Sam? Brian Kelly loses a game and they're like, this dude sucks. He sucks.
You can't forget when they lost to USC and he again, like,
yeah. I think if LSU fans are honest with themselves, or like maybe when his tenure's over, no matter how it turns out, they will probably be able to admit, hey, LSU loves winning more than anything. They don't give a damn about much else.
Nope.
I think they'll be able to admit though, like, he kind of sucked. Like, he kind of sucked. I mean, it's. Yeah, he's I don't know. He's just he tries too hard a lot of times.
That's what it is.
He tries too hard.
I cannot imagine him like just going into like the bayou of Louisiana, trying to recruit some kid, talking to someone's meemaw, and whatever fake accent he pulls out. I'm just like,
that fake accent thing was terrible.
That was so bad.
And then he, like, over the offseason, like, almost guaranteed, I don't know about guaranteed a national title, but he's like, you know, almost low-key, like, promising it. I mean, thank goodness the Death Valley Jr. thing worked out for him. I was like, well, that was a try-hard. We're like, why'd you do that? Like, what good did that do? Like, again, they won. I mean, if they'd have lost, it'd be whatever. But, yeah, again, the reporter thing, like, dude, you're in there to answer the question. Like the reporter's job is not to cater to you.
No.
It's not. He may not. Here's the thing. You call on him, if he wants to throw a softball for you, he may not get another question in that entire press conference. Like, I actually commend the reporter for having the stones to ask that question. Like,
oh yeah, because there's so many, like, especially in the world today, you know, some people, they don't want to step on any toes and whatnot or offend anyone, but no, it is your job to ask those questions, and he needs to be answering them. And I'd rather get those questions now from when they played a bad Florida team. Well, their defense is decent, but LSU only won by 10 points, considering the fact that DJ Lagway threw the ball to LSU 5 times.
And one of those was a pick six. They only scored 13 points on offense. They scored one offensive touchdown.
Right.
And you're having problems answering a question about the offense?
Right. It's ridiculous. And Florida's defense now, they haven't allowed many touchdowns at all this year. I believe they've only allowed 3 offensive touchdowns. So their defense looks great, but that LSU offense, they stopped them. They stopped them there. And so I'm very interested to see if this game against Southeast Louisiana is going to be a little bit more of a get-right game, because people even had questions when LSU played Louisiana Tech, and it was like, this doesn't look that great. Like, no. It's so funny, because if you would have told me, like, months ago that DJ Lagway and Arch Manning and maybe Garrett Nussmeier are not the favorites to win the Heisman, I would have been like, what? Yeah,
you brought up the Arch Manning thing. I don't know if he's got the yips, or maybe he is hurt, or if he's just that mentally something's wrong. Something's very wrong. I mean, if they go out there and struggle against Sam Houston again, and I know they'll be 3-1, but with the way they've looked, Texas, Florida might be the winner. Like, whoever wins this is going to a bowl game with the way they both look.
I'm going to call that game officially. Sierra names it. It's going to be called the Toilet Bowl, because they both stink. So
that or the world's greatest pillow fight. I mean, it's a pillow fight. It'll be a pillow fight. I hate it too, because wink, wink, we were planning on, and we still are planning on going to that game. Not to spoil the surprise, but you know, if you're tuned in, like to drop some nuggets every now and then. But yeah, planning on. I mean, I don't know. It's so funny, because I jumped on a state of the program address for Florida, a couple different Florida podcasters, creators, whatever. And, you know, we were talking about this Texas game, and they essentially said, if you go to that one, they said if Florida was I guess what, they've played 4 games, or they will have played 4 games after Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah. They essentially said if Florida is 2-2, the atmosphere won't be great. I'm like, how about 1-3?
The swamp can be quiet.
Like, come on. Florida fans have got to show up for the Texas game, though.
I think they will, but just because it's Texas.
They'll be pissed off about it.
I think they'll be annoyed, but it's Texas. It's even when, like, Florida was like 4-8, and when they play Florida State, when they play Georgia, or when it's LSU, it's always going to be a crowd. Now, mind you, Georgia, of course, is always in Jacksonville, but whenever they play those traditional rivals, it's always pretty packed. Now, Texas, obviously not a traditional rival, but they're new to the league. Huge brand of football. I'm sure there's also some Texas fans in the state of Florida, because Texas fans seem to be everywhere. So I think it'll still be a packed crowd. Now, will they get into the game environment? Who knows? Because now people are kind of, it's funny. I've heard they play Go DJ, that song, every game. And I'm curious. I'm like, if they bench DJ Lagway, are they going to have to change the playlist?
No way that they're going to bench DJ Lagway.
No.
They can't. They can't do it. They just can't do it.
And that's what makes this era so interesting of NIL as well, because it's like, okay, this player's not playing great. Is he in the game because you have pride and you have confidence in him and you don't want to bench him? Or is it the fact that you're paying this player so much money that you cannot afford to take him out? So that's what I'm curious on, the dilemma that certain coaches might go through these days.
That's a good point. Yeah, when you've made that investment, I mean, you got to kind of see it out. So I don't know. I just tough times for Florida. I'm curious I think a lot of Gator fans, if it's ugly against Miami, they'll want him fired over the bye week.
Me,
I don't know if it's going to happen, but I don't think it will, because you saw last year they will not quit on him. I don't think this team will quit on Billy Napier. They love Billy.
Absolutely.
I love Billy.
He essentially saved his job, because I remember it was after the Texas game, Florida Athletic Director Scott Strickland posted a statement saying, like, hey, we're sticking with Billy Napier, da-da-da-da-da. And Lagway was like a huge advocate for Napier. Like, he was like a Gator. Like, they have clearly like a great relationship, it seems. And that's kind of why that helped a lot for Billy's case. And also they had that incredible end where they beat LSU, they beat Ole Miss, they beat Florida State, and they had that run, and it shows that this Gator team does play for him. Now, do they need to be a little bit more disciplined? Yeah, but we'll see if they turn it around against Miami. But this Miami team is looking like a college football playoff. It's still very early, but I mean, the rest of the ACC outside of Florida, the Florida State Miami game is going to be a fun one when they play.
Yeah, damn you, Billy. Damn you.
Yeah. Am I good to wrap it up?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll keep that in, by the way. We'll keep that in. This is the pilot episode.
Okay.
The pilot episode. We're just going to keep that in. Why not?
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into SECT right here on SEC Unfiltered. Let us know in the comments what tea is piping in your fan base. Let us know. We'll see you next time.